Welcome back to Mass Appeal. It's a scary question, but do you have enough savings to go 30 years without a paycheck? Well, joining us now is Dylan Bond, the owner of Bond Financial Services, and he's going to explain the importance of planning for retirement. Dylan, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure to be here. Happy spring.
And to you.
Thank you.
Doesn't it feel nice when it's springtime?
Today, I think, is the first day I actually feel like it's spring. So
Like a little, yeah, there's a little extra pep in the step. Yeah, I like the suit. So for the last 10 weeks, we've been doing the 10 things you need to know when retirement planning.
Right.
And we have the last one today. It's the paradigm has shifted, and everything is different than it was back even 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, there's a term three-legged stool, and back in the good old days, the three-legged stool for retirement income planning was Social Security, pensions from your workplace, and live off the interest on your savings. So fast forward to where we are here today now, Social Security is still there, although everybody seems to talk about it not being there for a long time. Pensions have gone by the wayside. Most people don't have pension options anymore. And if you're going to live off interest on savings, you better have about $1 gazillion because at 0.5%, it's going to take a heck of a lot of money.
Yeah, so your money sitting in the bank isn't as helpful as it used to be.
You know, it isn't. If you consider the average inflation rate being 3%, that doesn't really include fuel, doesn't include food, and it doesn't include health care, which are three of the most consumed things in retirement. It's closer to 5% as far as I'm concerned. If you're only earning 0.5%, then your purchasing power is actually going down by 4.5% a year.
That's the thing that I find wild about this retirement planning. It's that at the bare minimum, you need your money to make 4 or 5% just to keep up with the cost of living as it escalates.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to consider, and as I always say, the sooner you start thinking about it, the more options you're going to have. That's why we encourage anybody that's 50 or older to start thinking about retirement, even if you don't plan to retire until you're 60 or 65, because the longer time you have to plan, the more options you'll have available, and that's true for anything, really.
And there's a bunch of factors that play into it. There's a lot of things that you have to decide about yourself before you get ready to retire. The first one's your age. The second one is your life expectancy rate based on the overall population. But you also just need to think about your health and what you need specifically.
Yeah, like we talk about in our seminars every week, everybody's financial situation is different. It's like a fingerprint. Everybody has different resources, different needs, different wants, different health issues. So that's why I don't think there's any one silver bullet out there. There's not one account that I can stand up in front of a room full of 30 people and say, this is what everybody should own. It starts with a conversation. It starts with meeting somebody for the first appointment with nothing more than a pad and a pen and a calculator, and learning about them and how they work, what they do, what they see themselves doing over the next 30 years in retirement. And then from there, once I've learned enough about them, I can then put myself in their shoes, knowing what I know for being in the business for over 18 years, and tell them what I would do if I were them.
Well, because you can make those educated guesses and decisions for things like Social Security, because people don't know they can take it when they're 62, they can take it when they're older.
Right.
And to tell people a little bit about that, what maybe should you think about before you?
Well, again, it's life expectancy. If you plan to live a long, long life, it's going to be different than if your family history, life expectancy is 70 years old. We have a software program that we've invested in that we can help people by putting their Social Security information in and their ages and their expected need of income, and it will actually tell us, here's the benefit of taking it early, here's the benefit of taking it late or at full retirement age, and then give them information they can then decide what makes more sense to them.
And Dylan, we could talk finance all day long here, but if people want a good meal and to talk finance, they can go to one of your presentations. Tell us about the 7 ways to not outlive your money.
Yeah, 7 fundamental ways to not outlive your money. It's a seminar that I've been doing now for over 5 years. It talks about a lot of the common things that I think people need to consider when they're getting ready for retirement. We do them on a week-to-week basis at local restaurants in the area.
You have some coming up at Tucker's and a restaurant in Ludlow.
Yeah, Villa Rose in Ludlow. We'll be having them coming up there. And then being that it is springtime, during the summer months, in spring months, we do the same seminar at Twin Hills Golf Course in Longmeadow, Massachusetts. And we had a great showing last year. It's designed for people 50 and older. Best thing to do, because there are limited spots to these programs, is call George at the office. He'll have all the details, but they did a lot of renovations over the course of the winter. The place I think is going to look better than ever this year, and I think it's going to be a great time.
Well, and what better morning? You know, you get a foursome, you start playing golf in the
Yep.
morning, and then everybody gets there at 8:30, and then what happens?
Well, people show up for 8:30, sign in, then we have a breakfast. We do a nice breakfast buffet, and they do a phenomenal job at Twin Hills with that. I talk for about 45 minutes to an hour on the 7 fundamental ways to not outlive your money. Take any questions at the end of that. Then they'll go out to the driving range, warm up, and head out onto the golf course for a round of golf.
Not a bad day.
Not a bad day at all. It works very well for us. We've gotten a lot of great clients out of it, and we also do. Our current clients are welcome to bring friends as well. So it's a client appreciation event as well.
Not a bad way to get out in the course. Dylan, it's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
Happy Wednesday. Happy spring.
You too, Seth. I can't wait to see you next week.
I love that suit. Hey, visit bondfinancialservices.net or call Dylan 413-754-4747. Just let Dylan and his staff take the steps to secure your financial future.